Seeing her was a beautiful mistake. A mistake I would later regret making. The tightness of her jaw. The brightness of her cheeks. The glamorous smile. Her eyes, oh mamma mia. In a snap I realized her kind was what Shakespeare had in mind when he wrote, if her eyes were in the night sky, they would shine so brightly through space that birds would start singing, thinking her light was the light of day. Her eyes were blue, radiant, filled with irresistible flames of love. They were innocent, beautiful and delightful. They were like open doors directing you to the abyss of love. I know Ayi Kwei wrote The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born, but he needs to see Elena. She is an expression of perfect imperfection. She is the one, I murmured. My name is Ben. This is the story of how I fell in love with Elena. I am a banker, working in one of the Nigerian banks on the Lagos island. It is not uncommon to exchange contact with eye-catching women whenever they come for inquiry or transaction, would usually call like 5 at the end of the day, and know for sure my weekend won't be boring. On the 5th of May 2018, all the staff had resumed to the office with a glimmer of hope and fear. The horrible mental effect of the killing of 3 bankers the previous week in a nearby banking branch had not left our minds. I had called and chatted with 5 of my colleagues talking about the brevity of life and the risk we face in the banking hall. We had complained and scowled over how temporary the job was and if it worth the risk at all. Well, you know how the banking authority can terminate your appointment without prior notice. The day was not filled with desire to behold any beauty. Anyways, this is not about my workplace. It was the 4th customer after my lunch break. She was carrying a brown Gucci purse from which she brought out a form carefully filled. She wore a long gown which revealed almost nothing about her body shape. With a scarf long enough to cover her head, neck and partly her face, like an hijab. Then on her face was a thick dark sunshade. Seeing her from afar, I never got a glimpse of attraction towards her. Besides, I wasn't in a mood to bump any lady. I was sure I would just do my job and move to the next customer till the day's work would end. A decision I should have stuck with. It was when she sat on the customer's seat, removed her shades and spoke that everything paused. It felt like a movie effect. I had thought every action in the banking hall stood still. Let me quickly share my dual experience. 1. Her eye. I think she consciously wore the dark shade to protect the whole world from being on hold. They were dashing. You would think you were seeing the Cinderella anime. I couldn't stop staring until she spoke. 2. Her voice. The moment she opened her mouth and said, "Good afternoon, please can you help me out with?" I was lost in the enchantment of her mellifluous voice. I thought I was in an ensemble. Unprofessionally, I said, "I'm Ben, and yes, I will help you out." I was able to process her application for a new account in a very short while, telling all involved how important it is to get the account running soon. My friend Jamal, whom I will mention again in this story, was of great help. It was quick and precise. While I was done, I simply asked, "May I have your number? Would love to hang out with you sometime," which she replied without hesitation, "Okay." Now I know you are wondering how I got there. During the period of her account processing, I had employed all my charms of speech, intelligence, jokes and smiles. Had asked a few information about her too. So we had a good one. I had thought it was a classic catch. I just need to ask her out once or twice and then we would be dating. I thought to myself, but she was hard. She is the only daughter of 4 children, she knows the folly of men. Besides, her foolish ex haven't done pretty well in leaving a good legacy for upcoming men. Relationship wasn't her thing, she would tell me later. I cried so hard, knowing her killed the taste of other women in me. All I now prayed for was her love. She would always say, "Ben, forget it. It can't work." I had cared so much about her. Sent gifts, long late night calls, weekend hangouts. She knows I loved her, but all to no avail. I had invited her over severally, sending a well-detailed address to be sure she knows I live in an exclusive part of the city. I had tried to flaunt the luxury of my home to her, but she wouldn't visit. Nothing was working. She wasn't going to be my girlfriend. She is not ready for commitment. She liked me as a friend. She was fond of talking with me. But I loved her. It's 6 months. I need to move on. I need to stop. I need to start thinking for myself alone. I need to be able to sleep without strange dreams. I need to start seeing other women. Jamal was a close colleague of mine. He had always made fun of me being in a dream world. He had suggested, let her be. Lots of babes out there. I would reply him that I never felt like this about a woman before. Elena wasn't ready. It was hard, but a necessary decision. I stopped calling, and for the first time, I halted the early morning texts. Yeah, it was crazy. I'm moving on, I told myself. The next day, she called, and for the very first time, I said, Elena, can we talk later please? I'm busy right now. I wasn't sure what her reaction was. But I know she never expected it. It was a hard one for me too. I resented I had to do that. I didn't call back. I was cold to her chats. I really still loved her, but it was necessary. At least at that point. 2 days later, she called to ask what was wrong. Why didn't you return my call? She asked. Sorry, I forgot was my reply. She is a smart and intelligent lady. She knows what was going on. She knew I was trying to get over her. She knew how much I wanted to be in her life. She knew I was giving it all up, but she didn't care. She said okay, I just wanted to check on you. I replied, thank you. I hope you are good. I'm fine, talk to you later, she replied. I just had a Saturday siesta, preparing to join my friends on the field for my usual weekend games. She called, Ben, are you home? I'm in your street. Please come pick me up. I replied, yes, before she could finish her statement, like I just won a jackpot. Immediately, my heart was filled with hopes again. I think she is ready. She wants me in her life. We are probably going to marry. Immediately, I texted Jamal on WhatsApp. Elena just surprised me with a visit. I flung my phone on the bed, returned my hose and boot to the shoe rack. I dashed for the bathroom for the fastest shower ever. Mesmerized with my most expensive perfume. I didn't want to look too eager though. I wore my Lakers jersey with a well-ironed 3/4, then my favorite palm slippers. I was about opening the gate when her message dropped on my phone. Sorry, the person I came to see in your street eventually picked my call. We'll catch up some other time, take care. I am not sure there is a better way to express what I felt. It wasn't good. Instantly, I remembered, I had messaged Jamal. It was only natural to want to quickly check if he had read the chat. He hadn't eventually. But the delete for both option was gone. Gosh. He is gonna laugh. I didn't want him to. I would be angry if he did. My heart hurts at the insensitivity of her action. She is the most selfish woman on earth, I said to myself. How could she be this heartless? I was angry. I wouldn't be able to tell her how much effort I had put to her sudden visit. I will never give a damn about her again, but it's Elena we're talking about. The anger didn't last. We didn't talk for the weekend. She knew what she did. She knew it was bad. She did it anyway. Eventually, foolish Jamal made fun of the whole scenario. It was funny to me too eventually. How did I get here? Sunday night at exactly 9:33 p.m. I received the text below. Ben, I'm sorry for what I did. I just wanted to use the opportunity to know your place. I even thought I would see you after, but what I came for took longer than expected. I'm sorry, dear. I didn't want her to call me dear again. And why won't it take longer? You probably enjoyed the fuck. Well, I'm sorry. I was angry. That was the annoying thought on my head. I had wondered what brought her to my street. Could it be one of those single men living around? As you would have expected, she promised to make it up with a visit the next weekend. I know I would be well prepared this time and wouldn't be surprised if she disappointed. But she came. She visited, yes. My dream girl finally visited. Her hair was long and brown, arranged in 2 long braids going down her back with 2 tendrils left hanging on either side of her face. A pink ribbon was tied around the top of the braid, giving the pink dress she wore a good fit. Her pink dress was low-cut, showing off plenty of her cleavage, and the little cropped shirt that was open over the dress never stopped calling my attention to it. She wore brown boots that seemed pretty comfortable. She sat on a couch next to me. It felt like I was never offended with her previous visiting action. Talking to her was as beautiful as ever. We talked and laughed several times. The feeling her presence brought was beyond ecstasy. She looked more beautiful than she was before. Her voice was like wind chimes tinkling in a soft breeze. Her skin was like lilies floating lazily in a clear pond. Her lips were like sunshine on a warm summer day, ready to be kissed. Her breasts were miniature burial mounds on bare Midwestern clay. Her shoulders were gently sloping hills over a verdant valley. Her neck was punctured at the jugular with two tiny holes. Her eyes were like her eyes. There was nothing like her eyes. I was totally transfixed, smitten. I was in love. She noticed my absent-mindedness. She called, "Ben, come in," followed with a snap of her middle finger and her thumb. She was ready to leave. I bade her farewell. I had a great evening. It was indeed a special moment to behold. Our friendship returned back to normal. We talked more often. Just didn't talk about relationship with her again. I was beginning to accept the fact that she wasn't gonna be ready to love anytime soon. Months passed, we hung out, we had long late night calls and chats, we were close friends again. It was the 15th month of our friendship. It would be her second birthday. I went over to her place. I had only sent her a birthday present the previous year. She held a simple birthday party with few friends and family around. I was usually the shy type in such gatherings, so I really didn't say much. I just sat quietly in a corner of the living room. 15 minutes later, I would bid her goodbye, and she would promise to call me later in the evening. I got home feeling indifferent about the whole birthday visit, thinking if it was necessary I had gone there. I could have just sent the present like the previous year. It wasn't worth it, I thought to myself. I was about lying on the couch in my living room when my phone rang. It was Elena. "Are you home now? Will you be going out or at home for the rest of the day?" I replied yes to both questions. I wondered why she would ask if I would be home for the rest of the day. Well, I felt it was merely out of courtesy. It was about 17 minutes past 7 p.m. when she called me to come and open the gate for her. I wasn't sure if it was a joke or real. I had to go check out. She was standing right there. Elena visited me late in the evening. Why? How? Hope all is well were questions running through my head. But I wasn't gonna ask her such until we entered the house. There in the living room, before I could say a word, she grabbed my hands, held me close and smothered me with kisses. What is going on? Am I dreaming about her again? Did I sleep off after getting home from the birthday party and now dreaming? These were questions running through my head. I wasn't gonna let curiosity spoil the moment for me. She whispered, "Lead me to your bedroom, please." I wasn't sure it was the right thing to do. A part of me wanted to tell her, "Wait, let's talk first. What is going on?" But I didn't invite her. I wasn't the initiator. She is not a baby. She knows what she wants. After all, I had always wanted her badly too. In the room, I watched as she undressed. Not sure of what I should really do. I usually know what to do, but this situation, I wasn't sure. Could she be testing me? She reached for my round neck and pulled it off. We continued kissing. It was at this time my sexual instinct resumed duty. I immediately reached around her back and unsnapped her bra. She cupped her bare breast towards my face as if she wanted me to see what I was up against. Her nipples were pointed as if they were gonna poke out my eyes. She is perfect. She stood before me and slid her panties slowly down her legs, then raising her legs one at a time, she set them free from the panties. I fumbled for my belt to remove my trouser. She told me in a low voice, "Wait. Don't." She did it all. As I lay on the bed, she removed my belt and pulled my jeans off. She tasted my body, every inch of it, with her mouth, with her tongue, with her hands. She in turn presented her body for me to reciprocate. I ran my hands and tongues over each supple curve. into each mysterious orifice. I finally focused on the beckoning nipples, sucking gently with a tinkling bite at every interval. Once my mouth is on one breast, my hand was busy with the other. When she could no longer control it, she begged me to do it. I want you inside me, she cried. A stupid part of me asked, are you sure about this? She retorted, I'm sure. I want you inside me, please. I did without further hesitation. She wrapped her legs around me, like a hungry lion not ready to take a risk of letting its prey escape. Inside, warm, hot, burning, melting. I felt lost inside her. I knew she was talking, but I couldn't understand a word. She was gonna take me to another level, then I heard her say, harder. The word echoed within my skull. I lost all ability to hold back, to keep it under control, to be gentle. I went feral, wild. I fucked her hard, so hard that she screamed my name. I felt her walls squeezing around me as she came. Once, twice, thrice, coming and coming, as I fucked her all round different positions. When my time of orgasm came, it was like unleashing the ocean gate. I felt everything within me emptied. I felt dizzy, everything within me tunneling, my body spasming. I was buried within the warmth of his thighs. Once, I gained a bit of energy. I gave another round of more strokes. Pounding harder, longer than the first, but this time only from behind, with my hips grinding against the soft warm silk of her ass. Finally, after an eternity of ecstasy, we both collapsed on the bed. Silent for about 5 minutes. She broke it with sharp, wow. That was incredible. Thank you. I wasn't surprised though. It was a typical recurrence. She wasn't bad herself. In a moment, she mumbled, shit, it's late. As if she had come earlier. She grabbed her bra and panties. I lay down still filled with the excitement of what just happened. Hoping I didn't wake up from a dream. I need this to be real. It would be a good new beginning of our Cinderella's story. She begged me to dress up quickly as she prepared to leave. I accompanied her to the street till she got a taxi to drop her home. Walking back home alone, I know I was the happiest man. I felt my love for her has finally been accepted. We are in love now. We, not I. I went back home reminiscing every moment without leaving a part out. A moment later, she called to tell me she was home. We didn't talk long as she said she would be sleeping early. The next day, I resumed my daily romantic text, followed with a good morning call, but she didn't pick nor reply. Little did I know that our little adventure the previous night was a farewell to both our friendship and my long-term expected dream. That was the last time I heard from Elena.